So, in case you haven't heard by now, Slayer is calling it quits. And that got me thinking, what better time to release a ranked list of Slayer albums from worst to best than right now? Also because it will likely give me some views, please subscribe. Number 11, Diabolus Musica. While technically people will rank Undisputed Attitude as Slayer's worst, that album doesn't quite qualify as a studio LP. So instead we have Diabolus Musica, or The Devil's Music, haha, as the worst of Slayer's whole discography. And the reason as to why it's on the bottom of the list is because everything about the album is forgettable. And that isn't to mean it's average, because quite honestly, average is better than what's on Diabolus Musica. Average music at the very least can still be listenable as background music while sitting at a bar downing some Jägermeister. No, Diabolus Musica is almost like listening to nothing. The mix is flat, it has a little bit of a nu metal aesthetic, but it doesn't really go far enough to be unique or fresh, and it retains some old school thrash elements, but it's nowhere near good enough to compete with Slayer's best, and let's be clear, even competent material. Just a waste of talent and easily their worst of their career. Number 10, Repentless. I'm usually not one that puts the old on a pedestal because I think new albums by older bands can give us some perspective. With that said, Repentless, Slayer's most recent and possibly last album, just isn't very good. In fact, it's average in every sense of the word, merely listenable, offering little in the way of new music and only poorly imitating past work. The only thing I can really recommend off Repentless is the title track because damn, that shit is boss. Number 9, Divine Intervention. Slayer climbed to the top of the metal world, releasing 5 truly essential thrash albums in the span of a decade, and then they follow those masterpieces up with Divine Intervention, aka a dud. Sure, there are some quality tracks in the title track and Ditto Head, but the rest just lacks the quality and the ferocity embodying Slayer's past work. All around, just a disappointing album. Number 8, World Painted Blood. Despite being low on this list, let me emphasize that World Painted Blood is a good album. The thrash hits you hard, many of the songs are worth hearing live in concert, such as Hate Worldwide, Playing with Dolls, the title track, Snuff, Beauty Through Disorder, and many more, and it was the last album to really mean anything to me. And if Slayer called us quits after this album, rather than give us the meandering of Repentless, I honestly wouldn't complain because this album is legit. Number 7, God Hates Us All. Wow, this album is angry. After releasing 2 stinkers and an undisputed piece of shit, Slayer got a second win for their career in God Hates Us All, an earth-shatteringly ferocious album that takes a bite out of a raw cow and spits out the bone. The tracks Disciple, New Faith, and Payback are all hard-hitting masterpieces, and tracks like Bloodline are sinister in how it's like a nightmarish lullaby. The only thing that really holds back God Hates Us All is that it's 13 tracks long, and some of it is just plain filler. That said, when God Hates Us All is good, it's really damn good. Number 6, Show No Mercy. I'm probably going to get some grief for not putting this album in the top 5, and that's understandable because Show No Mercy is quite a strong debut album to say the least, but it is also an album where Slayer is trying to figure out their style. Technically, the album is ace, Evil Has No Boundaries, Antichrist, Metal Storm, Die by the Sword, Black Magic, you name it, all are great tracks, but these songs aren't really reflective of the Slayer that we all know and love. The music doesn't take itself as seriously, and it's quite playful in its heresy. Still, with that said, it's a great album, even with the caveat that it sounds as if it were recorded in the dumpster located outside your local Applebee's. Number 5, Christ Illusion. Of all of Slayer's comeback albums, Christ Illusion is their best, and quite honestly, one of their most ferocious albums. Tackling the Iraq war conflict, suicide bombers, PTSD, and controversially crafting a song about 9/11 from the terrorist point of view, Slayer takes all the theatrics from their performances, shock in their lyrics, and combines it with brutal thrash metal. Just a terrific record all around. Number 4, Hell Awaits. The follow-up to Show No Mercy showcases the Slayer that we know and love. Gone are the more power fantasy Dungeons and Dragons, but evil perspective that is admittedly fun, and in is the shock and awe of something that sounds sinister and heavy and transports the listener to a hellish dimension. Sure, Hell Awaits is only 7 tracks in length, but quality trumps quantity every single fucking time, and damn, these tracks are pure quality. Especially Kill Again, because god, that gallop is amazing. Number 3, South of Heaven. Originally viewed as a disappointing follow-up to the game-changing Rain in Blood, South of Heaven slows the tempo down and adds hints of melody to Slayer's sonic arsenal. Some purists may say this waters down their sound, but in my mind, South of Heaven adds a creepy fucking dimension to Slayer's discography and allows South of Heaven to be in a league of its own. Number 2, Rain in Blood. Yes, I know you're shocked that this isn't number 1. Truthfully, if this list was of Slayer albums that are the most important, then sure, Rain in Blood is number 1. But this is my list, and I say that Rain in Blood is number 2.
I guess I have to take you at your word. Number 2.
With that out of the way, damn is this album great, because it's a half hour of pure thrash perfection. Angel of Death is arguably one of the best album openers of all time and embodies Slayer's hard-hitting, controversial style. Oh, how much they like to revel in that. And the rest of the album never lets up through its 10 tracks, and it's a testament to Slayer's musical prowess that each song still sounds unique and disparate from each other, even though many of them are barely above 2 minutes long in length, as in true punk fashion. This all culminates in Raining Blood, which is arguably the greatest album closer of all time and is the explosive finale this album deserves. Love it. Number 1, Seasons in the Abyss. This album is generally the consensus number 2 of Slayer's albums, but for me it's number 1 because it has the same quality as Raining Blood, yet the song construction is overall more nuanced and complex. So while many people will prefer the punk style in Rain and Blood, I really like the more methodical and sadistic approach like you can hear on the haunting title track, the Ed Gein-inspired Dead Skin Mask, the Tribal War Ensemble, and many others. A perfect album throughout. And yeah, that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure many of you will disagree, but tell me what you think your favorite Slayer albums are in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. This is Biological Riley, signing out.